When I was a little boy, growing up, I used to love watching cartoon shows and TV channels with superheroes and fictional characters. Icons like Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man really caught my attention. But what really dawned on me the most were the backstories on how they acquired their superpowers. Because most of them initially didn't know how to use them for the greater good. However, with time, patience, and practice, they were able to master their newfound abilities and began saving lives all around the world. As I'm looking around, I can sense that many of you also had childhood superheroes and wish to have abilities that can make you fly or teleport from one place to another. Now, as I'm standing here today, I ask you all the simple question: what if you had the superpower to master human emotion and body language? And how would that help you acquire greater certainty and self-confidence? Well, I'm here to tell you all that this is possible. Now, I've always admired the way Superman would pose. He did what we like to call the power pose, in which he mentally associates himself with being self-confident. Now, as a child, I used to practice this pose several times in front of a mirror, adjusting my hips and my posture to mentally associate myself with this type of self-confidence. I was practicing several body language techniques far before I ever even knew the definition of the word. And I was subconsciously practicing the art of body language with inspiration from my favorite cartoon shows. Let's talk about nonverbals. So when we think about nonverbals, we think about how they judge others and what the outcome is. Yet, a common mistake we tend to make is that we too are affected by our nonverbals. Despite this, you may be asking yourself, what nonverbals am I talking about? Well, recently a topic that has caught my attention over the last couple months are nonverbal expressions of power and dominance. Interpersonal power and dominance can be communicated through a variety of ways, such as body posture, facial expressions, gestures, and movements. In the animal kingdom, they refer to expanding and making yourself feel as large as possible. As you can see here, gorillas tend to do this a lot. However, this is not just limited to the animal kingdom, as us humans also tend to do this as well. We tend to do this when we are feeling the strength, power, and domination during the moment. So this image is absolutely remarkable as it comes to show how Mike Tyson can expand and make himself feel as large as possible, also influencing his opponent's opinion about him by walking with absolute certainty. On the other hand, what do we tend to do when we feel powerless? Well, we do the exact opposite as we tend to wrap ourselves up into this minute ball in order to feel as small as possible, in a sense to feel protected. Now let's talk about the power pose, also known as a victory stance. The victory stance is a body gesture that will help you mentally associate yourself with being more self-confident in the hope of feeling and behaving more assertively. A simple question commonly asked in a study was, can power posing for a few minutes change your life in meaningful ways? And personally, every time I glance at this prompt, I always think to myself, where can you apply this in situations that we care about? And so you think about applying this technique in evaluative situations, such as whether you're at a lunch table with your friends being judged, at a party where you know almost no one, giving a talk like this, or even doing a job interview. Our recommendation is to find a place of privacy and execute this body gesture for just a few minutes in order to really connect with yourself and feel more self-confident. Nonetheless, the question we should ask ourselves is, how does this stance help make us feel more powerful and confident? Well, we know that our minds affect our bodies, but another way to think about it is that our bodies certainly do affect our minds. According to a study done from Amy Cuddy at Harvard University in 2012, states that there are two fundamental hormones when it comes to feeling powerful. One testosterone, which is the dominance hormone, and 2, cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And it's evident that higher power alpha males in primate hierarchies have high levels of testosterone and low levels of cortisol. Powerful and compelling leaders have high testosterone and low cortisol levels, meaning they can remain calm and not stressed during stressful situations. Now listen, I am absolutely obsessed with body language. It is what I think about in every small decision that I make. Now listen, don't get me wrong. I have a long road ahead of me, and to be honest, I am just hoping to keep on developing my body language along the way to give me more self-confidence and certainty with anything that I do. Body language is life-changing. It is the necessary spark before anything that follows. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the bigger it will become and blossom inside of you. I kid you not, mastering human emotion is the most beautiful thing you can possess. With the variety of different body gestures and poses available, there is no limit to beginning your journey, as it is a primary characteristic to make you feel more self-confident. Now let's talk about world sensational actor Tom Holland, also known as Spider-Man. In the media, I saw a video about Tom Holland and how he can turn awkwardness into confidence. He mentions how you can improve your self-confidence and other people's perception of you in nearly every situation, simply by adjusting your body language. For instance, Tom is able to convey a sense of confident ease as he speaks by following the 3-second rule of eye contact and shifting his gaze to various people. Instead of looking down or awkwardly glaring at someone for a long period of time, he gives everyone in the group 3 seconds of eye contact before moving on to the next individual. Tom also mentions how he uses his palms and gesticulates as he speaks, not only making his comments more intriguing to hear, but he is avoiding a common mistake nervous people tend to make, leaving your palms unnoticed. By hiding your palms, it sends a subconscious message to the other person, meaning that you may be hiding something from them, ultimately making you seem less trustworthy. And one important factor that stuck to me the most was that if you do something embarrassing, whether it was on purpose or by accident, your best outcome is to fully commit. By embracing awkward situations, you instantly become more confident than anyone in the scenario. The majority of difficult circumstances you face are made worse by your desire to be viewed in a certain manner. Most of the awkwardness would disappear if you just let go of trying to control other people's perceptions. So if you're ever feeling self-conscious, just ask yourself, what perception am I fighting for right now? And then relax, knowing that it was simply an opinion about you, as your innermost confidence is based on embracing the truth of who you are, not on controlling other people's perceptions. So as we come to an end, I ask you all to join me and embrace these awkward situations and turn them into more pleasing ones where you feel more self-confident and assertive. Now, it's evident that nonverbals and body language can really influence other people's opinion about you. So use them correctly and to your advantage. And now it's also clear that projecting these power poses before any stressful situation can really be useful to overcome our inner fears, as it will increase our testosterone, which is exactly what we want to decrease our cortisol levels. Now, as of my personal experience, I have managed to use this to my personal benefit. I have been practicing the sport of tennis for nearly all my life. And the second I take foot onto that tennis court, I immediately remember to walk with confidence. And I really exaggerate it by sticking out my chest and making myself feel as large as possible. With this, I have had more success within my tournaments as I feel more assertive within my shots and I eliminate all my nerves and fears. So don't leave the situation feeling irrelevant and not being able to express who you really are. Rather, leave the situation feeling accomplished, being able to show your true colors. Embrace these factors and implement them into your daily life. Believe me, you will not regret it. These ideas are worth spreading. Thank you very much.